Hey guys, so we're going to do another flick through, and this one is the painted tarot. I got this as a gift for my birthday off my dad. It's absolute, I love it. I love it. It's one of my favourite decks. This is a deck that I kind of keep for myself a bit, I think. I think I've used it a few times for others, and then I decided no, it's for me. So I've kind of hogged it a little bit. But it's a beautiful deck. It's by Sophie McKay Knight. You can find her on Etsy. She probably has her own website as well. Have a look. See if she's got links to anything. She probably has got her own website. Now, I've just been on Etsy actually and had a look, and she doesn't seem to have this deck anymore. So I don't know if she's just sold out or it's gone out of print. She has like an upgrade to it, which is called the Next Generation Tarot, which is a few extra cards that you can add into this deck that give you a new spin on a couple of the. It's like it's like say the High Priestess and this card had a baby, and then that card would be this new card. So it kind of goes like that, and it looks like quite a fun little deck. I've not got it yet, but I am interested in it, and it is one that I'm keeping me beady eye on. So as I say, I got this one for my birthday. You get this book with it. You don't really get a guidebooks per se, but you get this book with it, and it tells you about how she came into making the cards. And it gives you a quick, so it is a guidebook really. So you get a quick little blurb on each card. And then into the majors. So she does that for every card. You get a bit of a blurb, which is more than, really, it's more than enough, I think. She talks about her view on reversals, and she tells you a little about the models that she used to make the cards. And then she speaks about the darker cards and then insights and stuff like that. And I keep knocking this all over the place. So you get that book comes with it. Now it comes into the first one that she made. It was a thicker cardstock. I believe it was nice. It was quality cardstock, but it was a bit stiff. I think I've heard people say it was a bit stiff. So she did bring out the new one, and I did opt to go for the thinner cardstock, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is probably where it's at. This is probably how it should come, because it's flexible, it's sturdy though, and it holds up well. It comes in a tuck box, so this is the tuck box. And on the back of the cards, on the back of the cards is where her easel stood while she was painting this deck, while she was painting the cards for this deck, or the images for this deck. This is all the paint splatter that came off as she was painting. So she took a photograph of that and put it as the back, which I think is absolutely ingenious. It's a fantastic idea. So the cards are... I've got a standard tarot. So they're about the same height, a little bit higher than a standard tarot, and you can see a bit wider there. So they're kind of like small oracle size, I would say. So let's get a look into these. A little bit. So we have our Fool. So you can find things in the cards as well that kind of give you a hint to, the traditional Rider-Waite, but some of them do kind of go their own way, but you can still see the meanings in the cards, I think. But I just think it's a really pretty deck. The colours are beautiful. I don't think the camera will do it justice for how colourful they are and how just pretty they are. So that's the Fool. We've got the Alchemist for the Magician. He's got all his tools still. And And you get the red, like the red in the card there gives you a sense of authority and kind of being in control. You've got the High Priestess. And you don't get the pillars, but you got these, it's like an archway sort of kind of going around us, so you do still get the idea of the pillars or the entrance. Got our stunning Empress. I absolutely love that card. They're quite soulful, aren't they? And if you look at the faces as well, the faces are quite soulful through the deck, I find. Got our Emperor. So where you get the bright Empress, you get like the more muted tones of the Emperor. So it's kind of, and it looks kind of like a rocky background or something. So it gives you the idea of the stability or the structure sort of towards the Emperor. But you still get him holding his items. And he still has got colour, and he's got quite a bit of the orange flecks around him, which tie him into the Empress, I think. Got our Hierophant. I like that some of the cards are very androgynous as well, but this one you get like the eye closed and the eye open, so you've got the sense of going in and out, going in to kind of get your knowledge as well. We've got our Lovers. I like that they're all entwined and kind of blending into each other. Chariot. I think these might be horses or like horsey silhouettes, so it's like something's rushing ahead. But you get the moon there, so it gives you the nod to Cancer. Strength. We have Roman numerals at the top as well. Got our Hermit. I like the way the Hermit's quite a muted one as well. Wheel of Fortune. It's almost like a scrying bowl and it with a ring of fire around it, the way it's kind of all wavy there, or she could be looking down a wishing well or anything, you know, you could take it so many ways. Got Justice. I like that the sword is bolt upright. We do still get the scales. She has her eyes, or he, it could be girl or boy, but they have their eyes closed, so it's like they're trusting their senses and making a decision. Got the Hanged Man. Pretty traditional with the light around the headspace. We've got Death, and I think this is a beautiful card as well. It's stunning, that, isn't it? And it's pretty. It's so pretty. I feel like I do this about all my decks. Aren't they so pretty? Got Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. I like that she is kind of the tower in this, and I like that the lightning strikes that or what I assume to be lightning strikes seem to be coming from themselves. So it gives the internal Instead of it being like an external kind of thing, it's like an internal kind of crumbling. Got our star card. The moon. I like that they've got their eyes closed on that one as well. Got the sun. And just get pure energy off that card. Judgment. And the world. Then we go into the swords. We've got the Ace of Swords. The 2. Love this one as well. I do love this one. You've got the swords in her hair there. Three of Swords. The 4. Five. I think when I first got this deck, I was like, oh, it's a bit 8 of Swords. But at the same time, I like the way the colour's been drawn out of it. Now the colour gets drawn out of a few of the cards, and it's the Kings. But in this card as well, the colour's been drawn out of it, so it kind of shows you the energy of the card. We've got our 6. It's almost like moving on, but it's like as if it could be mother and children, this, couldn't it? But it's like she's kind of embracing them and like kind of keeping them safe, guiding them to safety. I like the fact that they're light and she's like in darker kind of attire on this card as well, because it gives me the idea that she may be going through a difficult time herself, but she's still fighting to bring safety to what she holds dear. And I don't know if it's intentional with this one, but you get the 4 swords on this side and the 2 on that side, and the 2 of swords is about that kind of, you know, going within, making a choice, trusting your instincts, making a move. And then the 4 of swords is about waiting, sitting, patiently waiting, taking a rest, taking respite, removing yourself from a situation. So it's almost like the idea of contemplating removing yourself from the situation, or having contemplated moving yourself away from a situation, or now doing the action part of something that you have been spending time thinking on. Different ways to look at it. The 7 of Swords. Eight of Swords. Now I like this one because even though like the colour's been drawn out of it, it's not entirely been drawn out of it like the 5, and you've got all these sparks and sparkles that are going on around the mind space. So it's like the mind is like kind of overactive, but if she gets order within the mind, she has what's needed to get herself out of the situation. I'm saying she, it could be a he, you never know. 9 of Swords, and I like this one as well because you do get the energy of the card. They're kind of sat with the knees up and the head down. They're kind of like in a sitting fetal position, kind of holding themselves. It's like you get the sense of overwhelm from this card. The 10. And I like that she's not on the ground, or they're not on the ground, and that they actually look like they're moving on away from it. So it's like this happened, but we're not going to let this define us, and we're going to move ourselves away. It's time to move on, let it close it out, let it go, move on. Got our Page of Swords. Our Knight. I like the action feeling that you get from this, and there's quite a lot of directionality to play with in this deck as well. Oops. Our Queen. And she looks fierce, doesn't she? She doesn't look like she's going to take any shit from anyone. And the King, and this is what I mean about it, she's taken it back to, I think she said it was a charcoal drawing that she done this with. She done it with all of the kings, and she was asked about this. Somebody did actually ask her about this, and I believe the response was she wanted to set the kings apart, just to, I mean, use it as a way of not only setting the kings apart, but showing the kind of seriousness of, you know, the aspect of them. So kind of set them apart, and the aspect of them, like, they're not getting entrenched by all the colour and all the noise and all the emotions and everything. Ace of Cups. We do still kind of get like a silhouette-y kind of bird. I don't know whether it is or it's just like a paint splash, but it kind of emulates the bird coming into the cup. So you're still getting like the idea of hope or the blessings kind of coming in. R2. I love with the kind of lovey-dovey cards that where the people are kind of blending, and it kind of shows you that they're blending, so they're not really set apart. The 3. 4. 5 of Cups. So again, we've got the pullback of the colour, but not entirely. Not entirely, so there are still splashes of colour going through this. And I like that we get like all through this deck, it seems like hummingbirds or different types of birds, but like mostly hummingbirds that I kind of get, my eye gets drawn to. And the hummingbird, if you think about the hummingbird, you know, they can be delicate, but they're also quite fierce and quite protective, and they don't mess around. They kind of, they're in a situation, they'll deal with it, you know. So it's like kind of a reminder that, yeah, things might be going shit, but you know, you can deal with it, you can get through it. You've got kind of courage and strength within you to get yourself beyond the situation. Got the 6. Feels quite traditional. I like the fact that they're not overjoyous though in this card, because when we think of the 6 of Cups, then we think about like kind of the, oh, happy past memories and stuff like that, but not all past memories are happy. So it may be that you someone was going to come in my garden, and it may be that, you know, the memories that you're being pulled towards are not maybe the greatest, so it gives you the, you know, it's not an overtly this is past happiness, you know, coming through. You can get to play with the card in that way. We've got the 7. We've got all the cups swirling round. I like the fact that it's just kind of blotted out as well in this card, so it's almost like it's overwhelmed with choices. You can get that from that one. Our 8. It almost looks like she's coming towards you in this card. But what I do like about it is that you still get like the stacked cups, but you see like it's incomplete. You can see that something, even though there's so much emotion there, there's something that's incomplete. There's a space, there's something missing, and there's a need to kind of go on to get that. So although you've enjoyed or loved or had all this go on in this situation, it's time to move on from it. And I like that it's not necessarily a mopey miserable card as well, because not everybody feels that way when they're moving on. I mean, you could even play with this as the idea of you putting on a brave face and kind of being flamboyant about moving on when, she's got her eyes closed. She could be putting on a display that it's all good, she's moving on, but internally, she's feeling this loss, and she's feeling the fact that she had all this, but still something was missing. I should really do these without chitter chattering. We've got our Nine of Cups. And again, I like this one. I know I'm going to stop chitter chattering, I promise. But I like this one for the fact that, yes, she's quietly contented that she's got everything. But then if you look at her face and like really look at her face, is she really happy? We can get ourselves into situations where we get ourselves where we're in a really good place emotionally in and of ourselves, but then at the same time we miss that kind of human connection part of it. So as much as happy as we are, there's we can feel it isn't always that rewarding, because something can be missing, and it's not like an energy that we sit in 24/7. It can just be like random things where something's on or something funny happens, and you just wish you had someone to turn and say to or tell to. It's about noticing things like that as well. We've got our Ten of Cups. Our Page of Cups. This reminds me of a old friend. It's just, as soon as I pulled it out, like flicking through the deck the first time I seen this card, and ironically, she's a Cancer as well. So she's a water sign as well, and I was just like, that is her, and that's who, and that now, and thinking about it, her personality and the way she is and the way she carries herself through life is the Page of Cups. Yeah. So that'll forever stick in my mind as of what energy is this card bringing. It's bringing her, and I'll never not see that. Never not see it. It's crackers. It is crazy to me how just even look wise as well. We've got our Knight of Cups. Still get the idea of motion there as well. Queen. And the King of Cups. Don't know why, like, do you know, like when you get a deck and like there's a card that you have an aversion to? This one, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because my experiences of the King of Cups energy have of people with the King of Cups energy, I should say, not really. It's more of the detached type. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I don't know what it is about that card. And they're very similar. That's what I was like flicking back through them. They're very similar, the kings. Where are they? They're kind of sitting there. No. I don't know what it is. And maybe it's because it's so dark around the head space. You know? And even the cups are dark as well. I don't know. Let me shut up now. So we're into the wands. We've got the Ace of Wands. Our 2. Quite traditional. Our 3. I like the movement in the hair on this one as well, like the hair's being blown. And I like that in if you were looking at it, if you were looking for little like kind of things, you know, it's like she's between the 2 posts there when she's like obviously thinking and trying to decide what to do. But now in the next card along, it's like this post is obviously behind her or him, whatever you choose to see it as, but this post is obviously behind them, and so a choice was made, and maybe now they have more choices to make. The 4. So almost like they've got the hands. I can't remember to show you, but like I'm trying to show you with my own hands, as if like they've got holding hands down here and then one hand up here. You know, like kind of doing a dance. We're in balance. The 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And our 10. Page. Knight. Queen. I'm getting the light finger off that now, aren't you? I love her. And our King. See, that's very similar to the King of Cups, but it's not as dark. It's not as, I think it might just be the pure darkness of the card. And to be fair, my experience with King of Cups energy, or people embodying the King of Cups energy, is that they're quite cold, for want of a better word. Ace. Our 2. You still get the lemniscate, you get the indication of balance. 3. 4. 5. So even though you don't get the stained glass in the 5, you still kind of get an effect of, and like the snow, as if there's snow, or you get the idea of coldness or something coming kind of swirling through. So, six, seven, still get the idea of waiting, being patient. 8, or 9, and again the same as like with the 9 of cups. I like the fact that, you know, she's contented, she's quite content, she seems, you know, she's got all this like glowing yellow abundance kind of colour flowing around her, so she's obviously in a good place. But then there's also that twinge of, again, you know, we could have everything, but we might not have everything. So I like the fact that I feel like I could play with that in these cards. We've got our 10, page, oh, Jesus, sorry, our knight. So they're not as smeary as the other ones, so you don't get the idea that they're in that quick emotion. Queen. And our king. See, this one's quite dark as well, and I don't feel any kind of way about this one. I don't feel, it's weird. I don't know what it is about that King of Cups card. It makes me feel some kind of way. And I can't describe it. Oh, and I was looking for a website one. As I said, www.sophiemckayknight.com, or you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I think she's changed. Sorry, I keep banging. I need to move this stand off here because it keeps knocking it. I think she's changed her Instagram. I don't know. I'll write up in the description box if I remember, but I think there's something that she's changed about her Instagram. I don't know if she's changed the page or made the new page or something. But as you can see, this deck it's not really shiny, but it's not really matte. It is matte, but it's not really matte. I don't know. It's got a bit of a shine to it. It catches the light, but it's not glossy, is what I'm trying to say. It shuffles really well, this one. So I don't know how the thicker cardstock one would shuffle, because this one is just nice for me. I feel like if it was stiffer, it would hurt my thumbs to do. I can shuffle that way. I always say I can't. I can. It's just uncomfortable for me. I don't find it very comfortable, so I prefer to side shuffle, but it does it. I mean, this is as thick as it's long, isn't it? So it makes no odds, but it shuffles nice either way. It overhands nicely. And it fans nicely as well. So you get a decent fan on it. So let's see what she's wrote about the Knight of Cups. Knight of Coins. So It says coins, pentacles are associated with nature, abundance, work, operate in the real world, and can represent money and work life, whatever that means for you. So we want the Knight. Self-discipline, hard work, being methodical, working through things logically, being responsible, committed, getting on with the mundane aspects of life, feeling stuck, getting the job done. There we go. So that is the Painted Tarot by Sophie, McKay Knight. Definitely have a look at it. It seems to, I don't know whether she's changed her Etsy as well or something, but the other deck, the add-on to this is still available. You can only reach out and ask her, or check out her website and see if she might be just having to do a reprint, because I know she does reprint them. So she's independent, and it's just she's going to do probably small batches. But it'd be worth reaching out, getting on some kind of waiting list, or even contacting her to see if she's got any spares lying around that if you're interested in it. Okay, so I'll leave it on there. Okay.